Hello and welcome again to the Australian Ghost Whisperer. I'm James Jennings and I'm here again, of course, with the lovely Caterina Legato.
Hello, James.
Hello,
How
Caterina.
are you today?
I'm very well. Have you been whispering to any ghosts lately?
Always.
Always. Constantly.
Always.
24/7. Well, not, thankfully, probably not 24/7.
No, not 24/7. I need time out to regroup,
I'm sure you
rebalance.
do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, actually, that's one of the cool things about you that I find is that you do a job which is so out there and you deal with such mind-bending stuff. But when I talk to you about it, you're so down to earth about it. You're just like, in the way that someone might go to work and be like, oh yeah, I went to work today and I dug a hole and then I just went home. That's the way you kind of, it's like, oh yeah, I went to this house and I cleared a demon. Yeah, and then I just went home and anyway, I'm going to watch some TV.
Had a
now.
shower, watched TV,
Yeah.
or went for a walk.
Exactly, like
Yes.
that's I've always found that really, I don't know, kind of funny and endearing about you is that again your work's so crazy, but like you treat it as though oh, yeah, it's just a job, you know.
I've been doing this for most of my life, and also it's my way of maintaining balance and not burning out. And that's really important, is to remain sane through everything that I encounter. So I need to, once I've done my job, I need to kind of shake it off and leave it behind. It's done, it's finished, that door's shut. I can't take it home with me. I mean, I may think about it as I'm driving back home, but I need to leave it. It's kind of,
Yeah. See, this is, a difference between us because I, again, kind of outing myself as a chicken here, but I would probably go home. I would hide under the doona covers for the next 7 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But if I had that attitude, then I shouldn't be out there doing this work at all.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But like, I guess that's a way of me
Fear
saying
needs to, I needed to leave that behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a way of me saying I admire your bravery. Like you've got to be brave to do this kind of stuff. You're fearless. You're a very fearless person.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think when you have a great understanding about the spirit realms and how it all kind of works, it's like, for me, this work is like second nature now.
Yep.
It's part of who I am. It was what I believe I came into this life to do.
Yeah.
Came into this incarnation to be of service and to help. And it gives me great joy and satisfaction at the same time. But there's a great discipline that I need to follow, and that's keeping myself healthy, keeping myself grounded. So when I'm finished a job, I shut down and back in my physical body, clear my energy, and it's really great. Come home, I usually like to have a shower, I have to go for a walk and just get grounded back to Mother Nature.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So in terms of the theme of today's episode, it's everything you've wanted to know about being a psychic but were afraid to ask. So,
okay.
Yeah, well, so, it's like there's a lot of myths and there's a lot of misconceptions around what psychics do. In fact, what do you think about the word psychic? Because to me, it feels like even the term psychic is a bit loaded because people will probably imagine, like fortune tellers or like people who, wear flowing gowns and use crystal balls and stuff. Like, it conjures certain images. Like, are you comfortable with the word psychic? What do you...
Look, I believe that I'm here serving my purpose. I believe that I'm here doing what I was meant to do. Unfortunately, we live in a society that, everything has to be labelled, like whether you're a psychic, whether you're a doctor, the labelling thing is part of how we, distinguish between what a person is doing.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'm here doing service to people and how every day I just ask God how I can best serve God. And that's my purpose. And I'm not into labels. I feel like they're a little bit over the top. You've got people running around that they're masters and gurus. And look, I don't profess to be a master or guru, although I am very confident in what I do, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
I've helped people where obviously situations where perhaps other people, sometimes people will turn to priests and things like that, and I'm not here to put anyone down, but priests perhaps haven't had that type of training that I've had. You know, when we talk about religion, it's a quite a confined, where, you know, they only work through prayer and they're not trained mediums. A lot of priests who join the priesthood don't have certain skills and abilities, so obviously they can only help people to a certain point.
Sure.
Whereas because of my abilities as a psychic, as being able to see the spirit realms, I guess I can hone into an issue that a person's having and have a much clearer picture of what's happening around them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, in terms of asking the questions that, you know, average people might sort of want to ask a psychic is, I don't know, this is going to sound abrasive, but like a lot of people are probably like, isn't what you do bullshit? Like, isn't this all bullshit? You know? Like there are people, they're going to be skeptics who just go, what a load of absolute nonsense.
And I'm not there to kind of change or convince people. The people who come to me are people with genuine issues. And when I'm able to offer them real solutions and real healings, and they are able to get on with their life and be released from whatever paranormal situation they were experiencing, then that's all I need to do. Because everybody's entitled to their opinions and how they feel about things, and everybody's on different levels of their spiritual unfoldment, their spiritual understanding. So for some people, it's almost too difficult for them or too frightening to think that there's a spirit world or that there's demons or whatever. So they kind of, you know, just put their head in the sand and they just, that's fine, you know. This is 3 decades later that I've been doing this work full time. So the proof is in the results that I have achieved for people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And really changed their lives and given them the peace that they need.
Yeah.
And also it's helped them to then move on to a greater spiritual understanding, because I also believe that people create these experiences for their own learning. So it doesn't just happen, you know, like when your house was haunted, that took you on a path of greater understanding and greater awareness. So
absolutely,
it's also a kind of a learning for the person also that is having an experience.
No, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Okay, so here's a left field question for you. Can psychics read people's minds?
Look, I definitely don't go around reading people's minds. That would be quite exhausting. I am able to, you know, when people, obviously client comes for a reading, I'm able to read their energy and able to tap into kind of the issues that are going on around them, past, present, and kind of future. And that's how I work. And then again, once I'm finished, then I don't intrude into their kind of personal,
Right.
It just wouldn't be running around reading people's minds.
No, because that's probably like a misconception that people are kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyone who, you know, claims to do that, I'd be quite concerned.
Well, yeah. Well, for one, it's pretty invasive.
Yeah, it is invasive, and you can't kind of go into someone's mind, because if you're, it's not possible. Even, you know, like I've just finished studying hypnotherapy, and even that I cannot hypnotize or, you know, make suggestions for a person in a hypnotherapy session without their consent and their permission. And their unconscious mind will not accept anything, any suggestions that I make that are not in sync with that person's belief system.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sort of this is another question that skeptics might sort of ask or level at you as well, is that the information that you tell people is generic enough so that they'll apply their life situation to it. So you kind of like give this general overview and people go, oh yeah, that's kind of happened to me. That's kind of happened to me. Do you know what I mean? Like people, you tell people either something that's generic enough that they can just mold it to what they're thinking, or you just tell them stuff that they want to hear. Like, oh, your life's going to be great and this or da-da-da. Like, they're probably things that skeptics might level at psychics. What do you think about
Not
that?
at all. For example, I have so many people coming to see me that are wanting love in their lives and are going into one bad relationship after another. So they come in the hopes that I'm going to say to them, oh, the next person's going to be the right person for you. That's not how I operate. I look at the issues that are causing them to keep drawing to themselves painful relationships. So I say to them, these are the blocks I see. These are the belief systems that you have. Like you have lack of love for yourself, for example, or you don't feel good enough to truly attract love in your life. So I would say to them, we need to work through these issues in order for you to finally draw in that beautiful balanced relationship that you're looking at. It's like the typical woman who keeps going from one bad relationship to another where they're being abused by guys. Until they work on their issues, they're just not going to change that reality. And often the issues that people have are things that they have taken from their own childhood. Perhaps their parents were, not happy and they weren't raised in a happy, loving family where the parents were always screaming or arguing at each other. Obviously, those children grow up as adults. They don't have a point of reference of what real love is meant to be. So I have to do work on them, and I have to help them to work through those issues and to realize those issues and be able to heal them before they're able to truly understand love. So by the way, sometimes people don't want to work through their issues. They just want to hear that love's coming my way and that's it. And there's nothing I can do. All I can do is be honest and say, look, you need to go away and think about how ready and willing you are to work through your issues, to work through your pain, and be able to truly have the life you deserve.
Yeah, right. And that kind of leads to my next question, which is, do you only tell people the good stuff? And if you see, I guess, bad stuff, do you keep that from people? So if you see something that's not great, would you kind of be like, oh, better not tell them
Again,
that?
if I'm seeing things with people that are not so great, it's often everything can be transformed and healed. Just like when I walk into a house that's haunted, it can be transformed and healed.
Okay.
It's the same with people's lives. If I see things in people where their lives are constantly challenging, they're unhappy, they're suffering from depression, they hate themselves, then obviously I need to make them aware of that.
Yeah.
Because your reality is a reflection of your inner world, of your inner being. And if you don't love yourself, if you're not nurturing and caring for yourself, if you're angry all the time, if you're holding on to hatred and pain, then of course good is just not going to be there for you. So it's not about telling people good and bad stuff. That's just not how I work. I work on a deeper level of having a look at, well, why is your life so difficult? Let's have a look what that blockage is. Again, it can be a childhood memory. It can be that, they've been hurt very deeply. So until a person heals, and that's what we're here to do here in 3D Earth, we're meant to heal our issues. We're meant to heal our pain. Most humans are carrying so much pain that pain obviously continues to grow and develop as because pain attracts more pain. And so the more of these painful experiences a person has, obviously the more deeply rooted that pain becomes. So it's helping people to realize that they can heal, they can drop the baggage and And by healing, they can transform their lives. They can transform their thoughts and their beliefs and create a better reality. So that's how I look at it. It's not about, do I tell a person a bad thing? Look, I've had a few cases where I have recommended to the person to see a doctor or a specialist. I've had a lady that came and clearly had breast cancer that she had no knowledge about. And I said, look, perhaps you need to go and have a mammogram. I was very gentle about it. And thank God it saved her life. Another young girl had a brain tumor. Again, there are times where I need to make a person aware of a health issue that needs to be looked at quite urgently. But I do this in the most loving way. And I don't see that as telling someone a bad thing. It's something that's important for that person to know.
Because I've had a few people that I know, and I've told them about seeing you and my experiences with you, and they don't doubt that you can do what you do, but they say to me, "Oh, I don't want to go. I'd be too afraid about hearing bad news." Like, I find that a really odd.
Because it's unfortunately, this whole psychic thing is very uncontrolled, and often you have very inexperienced people with a pack of tarot cards or whatever, and the purpose for doing it is, obviously for money only, or they themselves are quite damaged people. They have a little bit of a gift and they're giving really bad information to people, scaring people, sometimes trying to do that to take their money and telling them that they'll do rituals and spells to change their life. I don't come from that place. I'm all about do the inner work and change and become empowered, because that is our purpose ultimately for being here, is to heal and become empowered, high-dimensional human beings.
Yeah.
And I feel that that's why this world is in the state it's in a state of crisis at the moment, because we have reached a place where we all need to heal in order to move forward and heal ourselves, heal each other, and heal the planet.
Do you think that there are a lot of psychics out there who are frauds?
Unfortunately, yes, that have done a lot of damage. I've had people come to me who have been to psychics who have, first of all, been ripped off thousands of dollars.
Really?
Because they've offered to do, spells and magic to them to change their lives.
Right.
When obviously it made no difference to their lives, because again, it's all about doing the inner work. So yes, there's a bad kind of reputation going out, because this is kind of, an industry that's very uncontrolled. There isn't an exam or a test. So you have to be very careful who you go to. And again, I say, like, if you go to someone and the vibe isn't good, or you feel that person's trying to control you or disempower you, walk out. You always must remain empowered, and not allow that person to put fear into you.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. Have you seen any of, like, there's a lot of, like, famous psychics, like ones who get quite popular and, have TV shows and that kind of stuff. Have you ever seen any of those and you're like, yeah, you're legit, you're full of shit?
Look,
like,
I don't want to kind of, sort of say names or anything, because that's not what I'm about. But yeah, of course, there's a lot of people in this business for monetary reasons only. For me, I know the day will come when I have to return to my Creator, and I want to be able to go to my Creator with a clear conscience. And I can only do my best. Oh my gosh, I'm not professing to be, God myself. And, but I try and endeavor to give my best to each person. There's only a certain amount of people I will see in a day, because once I know that, I've hit a point where I'm tired, then I'm not going to be able to give my best. Sometimes people will call me, please, this is so urgent, you got to squeeze me in. I'm sorry, I'd rather you wait than me squeeze you in. And I explain it. I say, do you want my best, or do you want me just sitting on a chair? Like, I don't really care anymore what you do.
Yeah.
And also sometimes people just don't want to change. They come because they want to hear what they want to hear. And for example, I've had over the years, some married people that end up in affairs, and they think that, is he going to leave his wife, or is she going to leave her husband? And often that is not the case. And they, will walk out very upset at me, like it's my fault that they're not leaving their wife, or he's not going to, she's not going to leave her husband. And it's like, man, why don't you look at what attracted you to be in a relationship with someone that does not belong to you?
Yeah.
Or someone that, you can never have.
Yeah. There's deeper issues going on there.
Exactly.
Now, the next question out of my little grab bag of random questions is, do you see ghosts and spirits everywhere you go?
No, of course not. I turn off. Like, I've learnt now to turn off.
How do you do that?
I will always sense and feel. Well, I get grounded into my physical body. I'm kind of close down my chakras. I have protection over me. And when I'm in physical I just set that intention. I'm in physical reality today. I might be going out or shopping or whatever I need to do. So I'm not going to be, tapped in and turned on all day long. Absolutely not.
So another question for you is, are your predictions ever wrong? Because I know that some people who go and see psychics might be like, oh, they said this and this didn't happen, so it's all bullshit. So in terms of accuracy, what's the deal?
I feel like I've been fairly accurate, again, because of the experience I've had over the 30 years. But sometimes too, there's a few paths that a person can take. So it's like, well, you could go down this path and have this experience, or you could go down that path. Again, you can go down that path of self-healing and have this amazing experience at the end of it, or you can stay carrying that pain, carrying that hurt, and continue a path of misery and unhappiness, really. So it's up to them. Again, it's always about keeping the person responsible for themselves and the choices they make. So it's always about taking it back to the person and self-responsibility, self-awareness.
And would it be fair to say as well that when you sort of give predictions to people about things as well, is that really all you're doing is predicting a possible future, because people still have the free will?
Yeah, infinite possibilities. Yeah, and sometimes things are quite inconcrete, and so if they are, I feel quite confident, say, look, I really feel this is where you're heading. And other times, it's kind of like perhaps this change of heart may take you into a better direction. So it's a very, you have to treat each person and each experience they're having. It's a very fine line as to, actually how you make a prediction for somebody. There has to be that vibe of it's either really, really in concrete or it's kind of changeable.
Okay. So it can be like grades. It's more like that thing's a certainty.
But this isn't. Yeah.
Because again, people have the free will to make decisions.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, because I think in terms of free will, what the decisions that you make as a person can influence the outcome. So something mightn't come true, but it might be because of you. So my example of that is I saw someone years ago and they gave me a very detailed description about who my next partner was going to be, right? Physical description, personality, quite detailed. And that wound up not happening. And I went back and listened to the recording of it not that long ago, and it dawned on me, and I went, oh my God, I do know that person. I do know that I was around that person, but it didn't happen because I didn't
pursue it.
I didn't pursue it.
Yeah.
I could have if I had the bravery.
So she was picking up this person around you, but you didn't pursue the relationship. Yeah.
I didn't.
Everything is changeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So again, so my point is that someone might look at that and go, well, you said this and it didn't come true, but it's like, oh, I know it could have come true. It's just I made decisions that led me down a different path. So there's free will comes into it as well.
Yeah, especially, and as we heal and change and and develop more and more, then we create different outcomes
Yeah, exactly.
But I do a lot more readings where people are coming and they want to connect with someone on the other side. So that's always quite, a joyful moment where I can connect someone to a loved one on the other side. So a lot of my readings are more about that. I'm more about healing. I'm more about creating the type of life you desire.
Yeah.
And I believe that all of that is possible. You can come out of, and I've helped people come out of the darkest places into the light and really change their lives and be and have that mastery, have that power over the life, over your life, because you are, we are creators. We are, as God, we are creators. So therefore we're able to create the reality that we choose, but we need to put love and energy into it.
Right. Now, the last random question that I'm going to throw you today is, what is the question that you get asked the most by people?
Oh, when am I going to find love? When am I going to find love?
Right, the eternal question.
The eternal question. The biggest thing that most people want is to feel loved and to be loved. And again, it's bringing it back to the self. First, you have to love yourself. No one's ever going to love you more than you love yourself. So again, comes to doing the inner work, healing the wounds, the childhood wounds, sometimes even past life wounds, healing those wounds, finding the love within, and then love attracts love.
There you go. You've just given people...
And love is who we are.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And now people have a little shortcut, a little cheat code. If you want to find love, that's what you got to do.
Love yourself first.
Love yourself first. There you go. Wise words. And on that lovely note, that's the end of our episode. Thanks again, Caterina. Fascinating chat as always. And we'll be back for more very soon. So thanks for tuning in or listening. Please remember to like, subscribe or comment if you are in the position of being able to do so. And we look forward to seeing you again with more very soon. See you later, and thanks, Kat.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.